Hello and welcome back to Bricking It. Today we're in the castle and we're working on this double height module, which is usually the site of our divination classroom. I've already started making some changes, so I'll just show you what I've been doing so far, because it's not really the divination classroom we're working on, it's what shares the module with it, and that's our room of requirement. So if I just take this out, come over to the desk. So here's the room of requirement, and what I've done is I've attached what was previously a separate module, which is the doorway wall of the room of requirement, to the back of divination. So that's all one piece, because I figured if ever I'm using the room of requirement, this is going to be stored away behind it anyway. So to stabilise this, which was only ever 2 studs wide, and it was really flimsy and these kept breaking off, so I thought I'd just make it one stabilised piece. To get our floating columns, which I've now upgraded into a slightly more 3-dimensional one. We're currently resting on these axles, which as you can see makes it droop a little bit, but it's kind of doing the job, and I'll show you how we're doing that in a moment. So let's just put this back into the castle the right way round. Alright, we're back in the castle. Here's a fire module in the back. We'll have a closer look at that in a moment. For storage, Professor Trelawney needs to just head up into her office. We can run that in there, and that goes all the way back. Well, it doesn't go all the way back. Why doesn't it go all the way back? There we go. Now, you can see these jumpers on the top here. They just focus, snot into the roof there. That will hold up our floating columns. This is our space with the floating columns, and we've got 2 different floors for that. First up, we've got our training room floor, which has expanded from the 6 depth it had before to 10 studs deep, and that's going to fill up the space here. The fireplace isn't actually going to go there. It'll probably, broken it. Fireplace will probably sit here at the side. If I use it at all, I'm not sure yet. We're going to see as we grow this area. So we've got our plain walls, a couple of decorations from the other modules, and this one again plain if we don't have the fireplace there. And in the movies these walls had the mirrors on, sort of like mirrored panels, and there were some windows in there. The mirrors actually stood proud of a recessed window, so I might be able to do something with that on either side and have them as sort of like little plug-ins. Might take it up as far as here so we can hide that row. At the moment this module is going to be living down here underneath with some of our other hidden modules. Got the old camp in the back there. That's going to be reworked as part of this overhaul, and that's just the Dada offices along with the back wall of potions class, couple of other bits. So that's one of our rooms. So the other room is the room of hidden things. Now this is very much not how it's going to end up. I'm just using these grey masonry bricks as supports for these clips. And that's just going to show us how high up our piles of stuff can go. You can probably go up above here a little more. I want to make them nice and tall. I want to have a little platform sort of, so we can have Draco and Zabini, either Crab or Zabini, one or the other of them, depending whether I'm doing book or movie. I'm going to have them up on the top so that they can be rescued by the trio on their broomsticks. So this is the original bit of my room of hidden things. It's now going to be reworked. I kind of want to keep these 2 cabinets at the front and do like this one with the hidden advanced potion making inside it. And then we also need to make sure that there's sufficient space in the middle so that I can pop in my, come on, find a stud, there we go. Pop in my vanishing cabinet if I want to do the Draco and the vanishing cabinet scenes. And then that will leave rubble at the side, or our piles of hidden things obviously at the side. Vanishing cabinet in the centre, we probably mount Draco there so we can display those scenes in our room of requirement. When it comes to the training module, obviously all this will hide under there. Oh, under there, actually show it to you. So I've got to work out, might have to move this supporting pillar across a bit just so I can slide those in. Have one or the other of them in there. Of course the training module will be the other one. That's nice and simple. I've also got that I've got to bring back in my chandelier, which is one of the features of the training module, and actually appears in one of the junk piles in the Room of Hidden Things scene in Deathly Hallows Part 2. So as somewhere to store it, I might work that into the junk pile somehow, but I don't know yet. It's a bit big, takes up a lot of room. Anyway, that's where we're at after the first day of work. Today, out of interest, is Saturday. I've been just working on that this evening, reworking the wall onto the back of divination and just resizing my bases, working out kind of what I want to do before I take a first pass at any kind of build. Okay, day one's over. So this is the fire base. Excuse the state of the table. I'm mid-flow, so I get a bit messy. So this is what we're going with now. I've got the basilisk head down quite low, so it's sort of tracking ground level characters. I'm building it up. I'm going to fill this black area in a bit more. I've got to put up a couple of clips in so I can put a few more of these smaller flame elements onto it. Still got the orange 1x5x2, no, what was it? 1x6x2s. Anyway, these things to replicate the cabinets that I've got further forward at the front of the display. Back's nothing special. You can see how we've got the basilisk mounted on one of these tilt tables. So I'll get a bit of play out of its angle. But really it's just because I wanted it sort of on that swooping down low. Get its mouth open. So I'll show you that in situ in a moment. Let's have a look at what else we've done. So here's the first part of the junk tower that I've been working on. So we've got a few details here. Chest of drawers, some of Professor Trelawney's bottles. Got a little tub full of old wands there, a couple of crates. Might try and get these, I know I've got a flat top one in medium nougat just for a bit of variety because it's a bit all monochrome at the moment. Got this random stack of parts up here. You'll see what's going on with that in a moment. Then we've got this couch at the top of the stack, and this is all just over one module high. That's where it slots into the middle set of rails, and from the front we get quite a good view. Still got my transparent display cases, they're going on here. This side, in one of the piles of stuff in the movie, we've got a real sort of like a landslide of books. I think I'm going to be working up fairly shallow, but I want to get up tall as well, so I'm not quite sure. I haven't quite got the space to go as shallow as I'd like, but I just want the edge to be quite patchy and spread out. This end here, we bring in the fire base. The basilisk pokes through at this sort of level, so I can build up a little under his chin, but I've just got to bear in mind when I'm building up my landslide that the basilisk has got to fit in, and then we'll get this kind of appearance of the fiery stuff. I've got quite an open space here, so I might do a separate little base with one of the larger flames on it, just to signify the fire spreading forward through the build. But of course it's not only used when we've got the flames going. Let's put our other case in. there, and then of course we've got the vanishing cabinet, and that's just gonna attach onto here, so even when it's just the junk room we've got the full display. You can still see these colours at the back. You probably can't see them on the camera very well, but in real life you can see these colourful interesting stacks of bits at the back. You can still see all the bottle and the goblet, and of course our tower of junk. So bearing in mind this is part 1, this is as far as we've got so far, we will pop this in the room for requirement and have a look at it. So here's our room. We've got this in the forward position, and I've got our thicker pillars on the top there. Let's put in our base. That slots in like a normal module. Just this extra little security piece here just to keep everything aligned and level. And so that's our room of requirement, just as a junk room. But if I'm going to do it for Deathly Hallows, I can detach these, push it back as far as it will go, can reattach them just for a bit more security and stability, and then I'm going to add in our fire module. This is carefully measured up so that the fire slips past those pillars, so I don't have to be completely detaching things every time. Take the vanishing cabinet out of the way, and we can put our junk module in. We see the fire behind all the junk. We've got this couch up here. Let me just find a minifigure. Harry will do. We can put a minifigure up there trying to escape the fire, and that'll obviously be Malfoy. I'm going to do some kind of high point on this side as well. I've got to rework this wall because I want to get rid of those black ones and this random doorway, which I don't know what place that up there. We can get rid of that. I'll rebuild that side. And this is going to be the fiery module. Because these have got a couple of anti-studs on the bottom, probably be able to put some kind of clip, or maybe a transparent clip, and have somebody on a broomstick, maybe 2 sets of people on broomsticks, flying through the centre of this display as they come to rescue our 2 stranded pupils. So that's how far we've got so far. This is Sunday night, so it's the second day of working on this. Been playing around. The fire module and the main room build I did on Saturday, obviously. I've been playing around with this after having Father's Day with the kids. Alright, so that's Sunday's update. More to come. Okay, so Monday evening we've made a bit more progress. Let's have a look on this side. As you can see, I changed the colour of the 2 chests. Got a gold one and a medium nougat, just for a bit more contrast. Everything else is the same, but they're still removable flame piece, just to enhance the, actually show it to you. Just add a bit more fire to it. Other than that, also put a bit of stuffing coming out of the sofa. So it's just a couple of very quick changes. Over on this side, got the whole other side of the piles in. Got some of Professor Trelawney's bottles lying around. Got the hidden potion book, a couple of broomsticks, stack of books, armchair, diadem on the bust, another broomstick with some, let's find a focus, a few bits and bobs. So around this side, it's got these crates on angled plates just to get a bit more texture. I'm using this 1x1 Technic brick with a very dodgy illegal connection to hold this chair, and we've got these 2 chairs at weird angles just like on the balanced precariously on the top of the pile. And overall, gives us quite a nice room of hidden things. I'll put this back in. There we go. You can see the fire poke through. As I mentioned, got a clip underneath Harry, so I can have him up in the air. Got this other armchair, so I could put a second character up on the chairs, but I don't think we've got quite enough room for Hermione and Ron on their broomsticks, so I'll just probably stick with Harry and Draco out there. Plus, Blaze is looking a bit stern to be worried for his life, whereas Draco's got a suitably worried expression on his face. So that's our room of hidden things as it stands. Let's have a look at it without the fire. I can try and do this without breaking out the tripod. Have a bit of a reshuffle. So that comes out. Harry can come off. Let's get our fire base out for the moment. And as far as our module goes, detach there and there. Now we could drag this back. Oh, focused on play games. We could just move it back to the front of the module, but this is designed so that the fire base can store away. So of course we've got divination on the back here. That's just student down. Pop it up on Dumbledore's office platform. So Professor Trelawney can just adjourn to her office. Ooh, let's find my student. Just because that space where she normally sits is where a basilisk head is going to go. So we're going to push this all the way to the back. Hopefully, as long as I haven't messed things up by making adjustments and amendments, I'll put this in. Ooh, line her up. I'll go back. Oh, yeah, we're there because these are lined perfectly at the front. That all fitted just the way I want it to, and we can bring in our base again. Okay, doesn't want to be up there this time. Don't need our fire. Instead, where have I put it? There it is. Going to have our vanishing cabinet in there. Going to have Draco working on it. So excuse the hand. There we go. Draco working on the vanishing cabinet. And that can be a room of hidden things for Half-Blood Prince displays. Just get it all in for you. There we go, okay. Happy with that. Now I know what I'm going to put where. I can fill in these final few tiles at the front. Have a bit of a readjustment and make sure my floor's finished. And I think, on a little 3 days of work, this is going to be my new display for the room of hidden things. So now that that's done, my next chance to have a build, which hopefully will be tomorrow, I'll be able to start on the training room. Okay, I'll see you then. So it's just occurred to me that I actually have to store this when I'm displaying the training room, and I haven't actually checked yet if it's going to fit. Let's see, we'll find out together. So this is underneath my castle. I've just got this shelf. So I store the room, the Dada offices and the dueling club when it's not in use, and various other bits and pieces. Got my boggarts there, the original campground, which has now seen better days. Anyway, this is where I'm going to be storing this, so let's see if we are going to... Oh, okay, oh, I thought it was ruined. Luckily, this heart shape stud that's just on there as a placeholder. Because I didn't have any 1x4s, I've just had to use a 1x2 and a jumper, and I thought I'll put something on there just to make it look a bit more interesting. And this whole couch will probably get a bit of a redesign to look a bit more interesting. I was just using what I had. Anyway, that was just there as something to fill those studs up. And I think, for something that wasn't planned, that couldn't have gone much better. But it's also a handy height marker, so I know as long as any build doesn't exceed that, it will fit inside here. While I'm down here, let's have a look at this space. Again, there's another one on the other side. This one, there's, oh, random skelly bones. I've got all my doors and my kind of wall spacers that go up in these gaps here when they're classrooms and things, so we can fill in the walls with classroom doors and things like that. There you go, a little sneaky peek at the corridor layout. And then the removable walls for the various modules, again when the classrooms are laid out. So we've got History of Magic, Troll in the Bathroom, a couple of plain ones, one with a door, the blackboards to Transfiguration. What's that window for? Can't remember. But anyway, that's what I store underneath here, and I don't think you can just see the first flying lesson base out the back, and that's the one that clips on, and that's been shown in my all first year things video. So good. It's good to know that that fits. Excellent. Right, on with the building. Welcome to Tuesday evening. Just doing my first task, which is ripping down this wall. I wanted to replace these two bricks with grey. Unfortunately, I've only got one, so that one's going to be black, so it's still going to be an annoying spot of black in the back of the room requirement. But eventually we will get that replaced. I've just now got to find an alternative to this doorway that was randomly in there. So I'm going to rebuild that wall and then get started on the DA training room. Okay, let's go. Here we go, that's our wall replaced. Shame about that brick, but we can't have everything. Right, let's go on with building. So one of the features of this module is that thanks to Ravenclaw, we've got this pull away wall. So it's usually just a plain wall piece that's slotted in there, but because it's recessed, I can use this space when I'm building the fireplace. Because I was going to have, I've got the door on the back wall, if you remember the wall you saw a little earlier, and it was either going to be the fireplace on this side or this side, and I realised of course I've got this recessed wall, so that makes it easier to decide. So I'm going to recess the actual fire area, still have the mantelpiece sticking proud because I want the chimney breast to go up, and I think I might go quite high because it's quite a grand fireplace in the overall scheme of things. So that's what I'm going to work on first, building the fireplace. Alright. Well, this has taken a ridiculously long time and I've achieved virtually nothing. So I set out to build my fireplace, and I've got it here, replicating the look of the one we get in the room requirement. It's not perfect, it tends to try and tear itself to pieces, but it replicates the shape of the one seen on screen. It fits into our removable wall and gives us a nice tall fireplace in a room of requirement. So it does what I wanted it to do. This is going to end up being dark tan. I just don't have, I've only got 3 of these slopes instead of 4, so I'm just putting it on in dark grey for the moment, dark bluish grey, sorry. Trying to decide whether to have a badge or something on there, snotted or bracketed on. Haven't quite decided. The one on screen is plain, so I'll probably leave it plain, and just because of the angle of it, if there's a badge on there you're never going to see it anyway, really. So it's just for a bit of interest when we've got the training room up. Might end up putting some bricks for the axle holes, or snot bricks or something else in this centre section, just so we've got somewhere to hang Patronuses from when we're doing the Patronus lesson, because we've got the otter and the rabbit have lurking around in the room. But unfortunately my bed is calling me, and so after way too long I'm going to call it a night. And that's where we are at the end of Tuesday evening. Welcome to Wednesday. I've been doing some more messing about, trying to figure out the campsite room, and I think I've decided that I really don't need to. There's no real pivotal scene set here, nothing really happens. I mainly want to do it because I worked out finally how to do hammocks using these curved panels, and then we've got a 1x1 cylinder and a plate on top that give you a little pillow shape, and they're gonna see they're attached to, oh, can I get in there, these little clips on the back on some snots, and then with these action stands they're attached at the front. I quite like them, they look quite good. So, you know, I can do the camp, but I really don't need to. I was experimenting with ways to get the picture up on the wall. I haven't really got a good picture to fit on there, and it would just be open anyway, so I would have it displayed something like that, again just using useful pieces. But again, with the pillars in the way, it doesn't really sit very nicely. I'm not even using a proper rail plate to hold it up, because these clips fit into these bricks with sort of the trench in them. And let's see if I can get a view of one of these. Yeah, so you see we've got these little sort of, I don't know what they are, little spacery things. These actually fit quite nicely in between those. If you fill it up and have 4 clips along, it won't really sit, because it doesn't want to sit on the end ones, but it sits on the edge. And it just goes a little deeper than the rail plate, so those are generally enough to hold this up on the wall. And I've got the big ladder for climbing down from the picture. It's a bit of a throwaway shot, and you know, if you know what it means from the books, you know where they've come from. But I don't know if this is ever going to be a scene on much display, so I'm glad I'm getting on video my hammocks. The idea was actually pinched from the new Ninjago ship. I've been trying to work out how to do my hammocks for a while, and I was watching an up and coming sets video on somebody's channel. I watched so many I can't remember whose, and I saw these on the inside of the ship. I thought, oh yeah, I'll get a couple of those, and it worked out perfectly, and the little pillows fit in perfectly, and I really wanted to do it. So now I've done it, but it's probably the last time anyone will ever see it, including me. And I actually ended up spending a bit more time in Professor McGonagall's office, because I realised she, oh, I've broken her desk. She also had, I've really broken her desk. Anyway, she also had a removable wall, thanks to Ravenclaw on the other side, so I just built her a nice bookshelf. And that's all using my normal snot technique, very similar to the one I put into the Slytherin common room. Got a nice picture on the wall and a lamp, and that can just slot in there. And when I'm not completely destroying our desk, oof, I can go in there. Oh, I know what I lost. I lost my little flag. I'm putting some of these small flags on just to disguise these joins. I mean, they don't really need to be disguised, but they kind of are on all the other levels. And these small versions of the flags don't look too bad. I've just pinged off Ravenclaw, so I have to find that, because at the moment below my display this huge tub of bricks and things. Anyone spot it? Can you see where it's gone? It's in there somewhere, I've got no idea where. Just working out what bricks I've got spare while I sort out the inventory for my Bricklink store. Coming soon. Oh no, don't linger down there. I'm not supposed to see that yet. So yeah, that's what I actually spent most of Wednesday night doing, instead of focusing on this. So kind of not really a room of requirement update for Wednesday, but sometimes you just got to cleanse your palate and realise that you don't really need to do every scene that happens in a room. Alright, time for bed. I found it. Can you see it? Here she blows. Alright, now it's time for bed. Welcome back. It's Thursday. And as you can see, I've done absolutely nothing. That's because it is so ridiculously hot. And in my little nook where I'm allowed to build and display my Lego, it is roasting. And I don't really want to spend a huge amount of time sitting in a puddle of my own sweat. So I haven't really done a huge amount today. In fact, I've done nothing. But I think I've come to the conclusion that I've done enough for my room of requirement now. There used to be a lot more to this build, but of course all those modules have been separated out elsewhere in the castle. We used to have the trophy room and Fluffy's corridor, and the prefect's bathroom was in here, the swamp corridor, all sorts of things that only appeared once would appear in this module back in the old version of my castle. That's no longer needed, and so my room of requirement just needs to service 3 scenes: the vanishing cabinet and the training room and the fiend fire, and I suppose 4 if I actually do make use of this camp. So there we go. I think I'm going to call this one done. I did set up a little scene in the training room that I posted to my Instagram account, and you can find that at the link posted on the screen now. This is that shot, just the trio and Luna messing about with their Patronuses. We haven't seen Ron's terrier as a Patronus yet. It doesn't really feature in the film, so you don't really get to see it in Lego. So Ron's just struggling with his. But that's our build for now. So all that remains to say is thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this insight into a bit of a week in the life of one of my builds. If you've enjoyed this video, please do leave us a like. Feel free to share with friends who might be interested in these builds. And for more Hogwarts MOC builds, please subscribe to Bricking It. Bye bye.